San Francisco became the latest city in the Bay Area to take up the issue of the war in Gaza. A resolution calling for a ceasefire and the release of all hostages. As Kelsey Thoridge shows us, City Hall could barely handle all of the people waiting to weigh in on that issue.
Well, you can see thousands of pro-Palestinian supporters packed into City Hall for the Board of Supervisors meeting to show their support for a resolution that was introduced by Supervisor Dean Preston calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. At one point, the line here was so long that it wrapped around the entire second floor of City Hall.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
Chants of Free Palestine rang through the rotunda at San Francisco City Hall Tuesday. How long have you been waiting in line?
3 hours. And we have not lost steam. We're still going. And I'll be here as long as it takes.
In addition to calling for a ceasefire, the resolution condemns anti-Semitic, anti-Palestinian, and Islamophobic rhetoric and attacks, as well as calls for humanitarian aid in the region and the release of hostages.
I think that if San Francisco passes this resolution next week, it'll set a precedent that the city of San Francisco stands against genocide. And I'm optimistic with the amount of support that's here today that it will pass.
While the resolution does mention the Hamas terror attacks of October 7th, it does not specifically condemn the terror group. Noticeably absent from the meeting were voices against the resolution. Instead of speaking out inside, opponents of the resolution held a vigil outside City Hall for the hostages still being held by Hamas.
And those who call for a ceasefire and don't condemn Hamas should be ashamed of themselves and ashamed of their lack of values and what America and what we stand for.
It included members of the Jewish Community Relations Council, Senator Scott Wiener, and 3 members of the Board of Supervisors.
We need to be able to work together on stopping drug overdose deaths and getting care to mentally ill people and addressing crime and getting housing for folks. There are so many things we need to do in this city, and I do not see how the Board of Supervisors taking up this issue helps us advance any of those solutions.
As the vigil outside wrapped up,
Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free!
the chants inside began, marking another emotional day for those on all sides of this conflict. And the Board of Supervisors is not voting on this resolution during this meeting. This, of course, is just the beginning of this process, and it is unclear at this time how much support this resolution has on the board.
The board is expected to vote on that resolution next week. Richmond was the first city in America to pass a formal resolution supporting Palestinians in October. It sparked controversy with language accusing Israel of ethnic cleansing. Oakland voted on its own resolution last week, and anger erupted after some people defended Hamas during the public comment period. Berkeley's mayor said that his city would not formally weigh in on the war to avoid inflaming tensions.